You have a couple different types of questions. The first one is a document-based question. They'll give you a document and you have to use it. You won't be able to pull all your answers from the document, but you might be able to get a little bit of background information out of it at least, in case you're not super familiar with the issue they're talking about. And then you may be able to like kind of BS your way through it. Usually you'll get like they'll have something that looks like a newspaper printout. And almost always they discuss this town called Fremont, which is this fictional AP environmental science town that just really struggles with quite a few issues. There is a Fremont in California, I believe, but it's not supposed to be the same one. And then basically the biggest mistake the students make with these is they try and take the information in the passage and just repeat it into the FRQ rather than providing new information. And if they wanted you to just take information from the passage and not provide any new info, you could do that without actually having taken an environmental science course, right? You don't have to be like college ready or anything to do that sort of thing. And so you're not really going to get any credit if you just repeat info from the passage and don't provide anything new, because they're basically trying to see if you deserve college credit, and copying and pasting doesn't really deserve college credit. So then you're going to have a data set question. That's a math question, and you'll have at least one. You always have at least one data set question. And there's 4 total FRQs on the test. You get 90 minutes to do the 4 FRQs, so you get like 22 minutes a question. So it's not a ton of time. So the math question, you basically get statistics, and then they'll have you calculate your answers. They may give you a graph or a diagram or a chart or something like that and want you to calculate your answers from that. Don't just completely skip this question if you think you don't know how to do the math, because all 10 points on the FRQ are not going to come from math, usually between like 4 and 6. So that means you can get between 6 and 4 points, right? Answering the rest of the question. So if you don't know how to do the math, you can at least like skip the math part and do the part that involves words. Also, if you don't know how to do one section of the math, but you do know how to do subsequent sections, like part A you don't know how to do, but part B you do know how to do. What you can do is you can come up with like a fake answer for part A and then use that fake answer for part B. And as long as you do part B correctly, using the fake answer from part A, you'll get the points. So what I tell students, if they don't know how to do part A, but they do know how to do part like B or C or D, and they rely on that first answer from part A, if you're going to put in a fake number, go ahead and put an easy one, right? Like 300 or 100 or something like that. Don't do like 526, right? Pick an easy answer. And so that makes the rest of your math pretty easy. And as long as you do the rest of the math correctly, you can get points for those sections. And then always show your work in these sections. You don't get any points if you don't show your work. So if you put an answer of like 4, you don't get any points. You'd have to show how you got that answer. And then you're going to have like a synthesis and evaluation question. I call these like the plain questions because you're not going to get math. You're not going to have a document. They're just going to like give you some information and ask you questions about it. And so they're going to ask you to provide, basically you're going to get points for providing in-depth knowledge about that topic and support your statements with scientific evidence. So, and they're going to ask you to identify, describe, explain, discuss, that kind of thing. And they're actually starting to do something where they actually bold the verb that they want you to do, like say identify, to help you kind of pick that out of what you want to do. And then your 4th FRQ is kind of a wild card FRQ. It could be one of these 3 types.